Now that you've learned about pivot tables, the next thing I want to talk about here is a stacked bar chart based on some of that pivot data. In this example, let's go ahead and take that category group, let's put it in the rows, and then for our columns, let's go ahead and grab the years, and then let's grab our total amount and use that for the values. The next thing that we want to do, just like when we created charts before, is we want to select the data that we're working with, but in this case, you want to be really careful that you don't select that totals row at the bottom. From here, let's go back up to the Excel menu, and we're going to go ahead and click on that Insert button just like we did before. The next thing that we can do is click on this bar chart icon here, and then we can select the stacked bar chart. Now we can see that the chart has been updated, and what we have here is all of those years, and then when we look at each of the individual bars, we can see that you have color-coded sections for each of the different categories. Now that we have that chart type out of the way, I want to show you what a combination chart looks like. Now, if you haven't seen or heard of a combination chart before, the name is pretty intuitive here, and what it is it's going to be a combination of some sort of data, and in this case, it's two different data sets that we're going to put on the same chart. In this case, what we're going to want to do is we want to have those total dollar amounts as well as the quantity or the units that were sold. To do this, let's go update our pivot table, and we want to show those category groups as rows, and then we're going to have for the values or the columns in this case, we want it being displayed as the item total amount, and then we also want to drag and put the quantity or the units down there. Next, just like before, we want to select our data, being careful not to highlight the totals row because we don't want that to show up on the chart. And like before, we'll go back up to the menu, we'll make sure that we're on the Insert tab here, and then what we want to do is click on this little icon here for the combo chart. With this little pop-up that opens up here, we're going to go ahead and click on the first one. Okay, there's our chart, but let's go ahead and make that a little bit bigger so we can see what's actually going on. When we look at the chart here, we have a legend, but we don't have any access labels being populated, and the chart looks a little bit confusing because the data is not being displayed properly. This is because when we created the chart, Excel brought in two different values. One of them happens to be the dollars, and the other has to be units, but it's being displayed on the same axis as if it were dollars. To fix this, what we really want to do is we want to have our dollars on one axis, and we want to have the units on the other axis, and then we want to show one of them as a bar and one of them as a line. We can easily solve this and fix up our chart by right-clicking on this orange line and then going to Format the Data Series. Next, all we have to do is click on this button here for Secondary Axis. There, now that looks a lot better, but we still don't have any of those axis labels to tell us what this data actually means, so we can fix this just like we did before. We'll go up here to the Design menu, then we'll click on Add Chart Element, and then we'll click on Access Titles, and then we'll pick the secondary vertical label. Also, to make sure our chart's looking good, we want to do the same thing for the primary vertical label and the horizontal label. As always, we want to fix up those label names, so we're going to say total dollars spent with the $sign after it because I think that looks a lot better, and it just helps the reader understand the data. Then we can head over for the other secondary label here, and we can name this as total units purchased, and we'll put the $sign after that. That way people know that it's units. And for the horizontal label, as you might expect, we'll just name this category group. Now that that's looking pretty good, let's clean it up a little bit more by adjusting the units of measurement that we're working with. To do that, all we have to do is right-click on the axis labels here, and we'll do Format Axis. Then under the number section over here on the right-hand side, we'll set this to be a currency, and then what we want to do is set this to be 0 decimal values. Okay, that looks a lot better, but if we think about this for a second here, it doesn't really feel quite right. Even though this might look okay, and I've seen a lot of people develop charts this way, what we have here is some unique or individual bars, but then we have this line that's continuous that overlays all these blue bars. The call out here is I want you to take a moment to stop and think about what this data is actually representing. When we think about a line is something that continues over a period of time. However, when we think about our data really isn't trying to describe something that's happening over a period of time. Instead, what we're representing here is that we have a category and then we have a dollar value, which is just a total or a sum of all that, and then we're doing that for the dollars and we're doing it for the units. It has nothing to do with something that is trending over a period of time. So instead of a line, a better representation of this would be to have the bar and then just have a point there that would represent the number of units, and that takes that line element out of the equation. To fix this, we're going to go ahead and right click on the line here, and then we're going to format the data series. Next, where it says line, I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to click the no line option. The next thing that I want to do is where it says marker here, I want to go ahead and click on that. Next, we'll go ahead and click on this drop-down menu here for marker options. Then what I want to do is click on built-in, and then I want to change the size to be an 8. There, That looks a lot better on the chart, and it's no longer being misleading because we're not using a line to represent something that is not time series data. That's it for that chart type. Feel free to play around with it a little bit more. Otherwise, let's jump into talking about a Pareto chart.